Fido certainly has that in Shern, and I think Nox and Chirp have hit a new level of understanding going into Split 2 compared to when they debuted together back in Split 1. So really, one side has to give. And will it come down to the experience factor that benefits Ground Zero, or will the new ideas and almost like the case of having a point to prove be there to back up Fury? As you can sort of see already from the get-go, Hui has ridiculous range.
Yeah, it's very rare to land that level 1. You find that mana flow stack, so nice from Fido that he finds that little lane gap with the extra 25 mana, so it's a very bit of a mid-diff. But we do see both Comet coming out of both the soul lands from Fury, so it's a different playstyle. You normally see like the phase rush to really, make sure you can't get ganked and it's easy to like trade and make sure you can't be traded back on. But Comet's more of an aggressive playstyle. I think that goes to show what Fury want to do in this game.
Well, that becomes my I suppose, overarching theme, right? Is how would you want to approach this as Fury? Do you say, yeah, you are the favorites, we'll show you your respect, but we're not going to look to try and slow down our gameplay? Because we've seen different types of approaches to these, skill matchups where it's like, we're going to try and reinvent the wheel and hit you with some like crazy wombo combo. Or in this case, it just seems like we just want to try and do something similar to you, but play it better. I think
you should just look to do something similar. Fury have shown that they're a very proficient team. They don't need to pull out something crazy like a Malphite mid. They just need to make sure they're not gapped too much individually in lanes, because Ground Zero very, very mechanically good. Also a very good team when it comes to team fighting and playing the map correctly. So have to see, what it looks like in the early game, and if it does go even, I'm pretty confident, Fury would be happy going into team fights.
Happy and potentially even favoured, depending on how the game does look as a result of that too. I want to speak a little bit more about this jungle matchup. You mentioned how nice the Kazakhs can be into the Zen, but does that really change the pathing or the game plan they're both looking to achieve in these, first 5-10 minutes?
It's honestly really important that junglers don't gank early unless it's very game exploiting, because based on the way jungle works now, you get so much experience from your camps, and going out of your path to, or your first clear to go for a gank means you're going to fall behind for the next 5 minutes. So it's really important that both junglers play for that full clear, because not much really is going to happen in the early game anyway, unless it's a extremely one-sided matchup where you want to die the lane and transfer your game to the rest of your teams.
Let's see then if the lane states are volatile enough, as we can already see they are, that allows these junglers to walk in and say, well, I'll sacrifice the camp clear for a little bit of a juicy gold income. You see Lima's dropping incredibly low in yet another fasting center, and so much so that Fido says, that's enough! You can burn double summoners, but you cannot disrespect us like that! And Fury find the first kill.
Yeah, extreme amounts of disrespect coming out of Limas. I was watching his stream before this game, and he was playing the exact same as he is right now. It's just a gank going on to the end.
Can they make it 2 from 2 though? This would be huge if they can take down the Camille nice and early and afford some space for Thomasino. The barrel, the damage, it's there. The wind does become the lightning, but it's not enough to cause a crackle and to force out a second kill.
Yeah, so we see Nox, skip 2 camps, go for that gank onto the end, but Shern has already cleared his entire jungle, going onto Crab, and he's going to recall after this, and this is what I'm talking about. This tempo will catch, Nox off guard, because, Shernfire's always going to be ahead in camps, be on map a bit quicker just because Nox went for this early gank, which doesn't really change how the top matchup went, because Tian was able to hold his flash.
Well, it looks good in isolation, but certainly not enough to put it behind. Camille returns back with a cull, and life is okay. And once again, seems to be a perfect demonstration of the absurd range that Fido has on this champion, right? Even bringing in the likes of Limas and Schönfire to guarantee that this wave was crashing and that Chirp was going to be zoned out from experience. Most importantly, that then snowballs into the ability for Ground Zero, or rather Schönfire, to invade and say, look, I'll take any 1v1 because I know you're not getting any backup.
Yeah, and Shern just knows, this is jungler expertise. He knows Nox hasn't cleared his camps yet based on, timers. He's able to, be on the map, play aggressive, and make sure that Nox has to answer, because they're not going to lose these 2v2s.
But they certainly aren't, even without the isolated buff there. Nox is dropping incredibly low. And that's what the pressure you need. You've burnt yet another flash, and you keep the game becoming, scarier and scarier. Maybe that starts to live in your head a little bit rent-free in terms of how you look to try and path, where you look to go and go, because you never know where that Kazakhs could be.
Yeah, and, Shern's going to base. He's already, level 4. He's ahead. He's got the pickaxe against the components coming out of Nox, and he's going to be much happier than Nox is coming back onto the map.
As Fido hooks a wall, not what he wants, doesn't really matter. It certainly doesn't, because they find the kill they need. That's a second for Hooper, who's limping away. Oh no, just in the end, Kurek answers back, and Fido says, yeah, you're low, but between two of us, we know that nobody's dying. And tell you what, this is getting a little bit spicy. It's been a hot minute since we last saw the Smolder, 3 months actually to the very day. last played by Lemus over at the PCS playoffs. And now he's getting humbled by it.
He's going to pick up the kill here.
I think he is. He really is. How on earth is this happening? And in what world did you think you were ticking off the bingo card of Fury's bot lane capping Ground Zero?
Yeah, I think this is just really nice gameplay coming out of Findo especially. Like, he keeps finding these hooks, like Ground Zero playing a bit too aggressive in a matchup that is usually what you would pick to stabilize lanes. You can't really bully with the matchup they have, but like Lawless, once again, like we're seeing such high priority in O's, is just a champ that's really good at abusing these 2v2s.
Ever so strong as just the Hextech ultimate on level 6 advantage fan here by TM, but is it enough to get the kill? It doesn't prove to be the case. He's done enough to set up the fight, to allow his team to rock up, group up, and claim the kill as a result. Lemus is so disinterested in laning, he's literally acting as a second jungler. Tien says, here we go, I've had enough. Procs it with the passive, gets the shield, tanks the turret, and walks out A-OK.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be the story of the game. Can Tien out-carry Hooper? Because I think Hooper's going to be online based on, regardless of what happens to the rest of laning phase. He's picked up gold, he has a really good first base. I assume he went for the Jack of all trades as well, so that's why we see the Motney's inventory to get access to the 5 stacks, get the extra, 10 AD. Which is, like a free longsword, which is very nice to have at the early game. So he's going to be sitting pretty, scaling up, getting as many stacks as possible. And, Tien getting a lot of resources from his team in, in tandem. So we have to see if he's going to be able to out-carry the bot lane.
And it becomes an interesting question, right? We say if, and I feel like it's a valid point because before when we had Smolder literally running rampant every single game, it was a case of you can deny to Smolder, they can have 0 CS by the 5-minute mark, they will still find a way to hit those magical 2-2-5 stacks and still just one-shot everybody as a result. And speaking of that, Chirp with the last stretch of butter says, here's my shockwave, there's my support, Finder says, here's a hook. And this is an incredibly fed Nautilus, I tell you what, 2-0-2 is now going to find a demise having run the complete opposite direction. And you would imagine that they'll hand this one to Schönfire. He's tried to juke! Get ready for the JB edit! There's another case. If there's a wall there, you're not juking anybody! And can he really run this one out enough that the vision is lost? No, Schönfire says, stop pissing me off. He flashes, he guarantees, and they bring it to an end. And then we pan to our bot lane, and it's already 3 kills for the Hooper.
Yeah, once again, like Hooper is getting access to so many resources. We'll have to see how many stacks he has later on. I think he is on the clock pretty much for Smolder. As the game speed goes further in, he's going to be able to, get back onto that like 10 to 12 stacks per minute, which is, really important for Smolder to be ahead of the clock. But he is going to have the items, which I think is more important than the snacks as the Smolder, because it's all about scaling. And, mid is, it's favored for Ground Zero, but, Chirp is still happy with like the lane state. He's not being bullied out. And Tomasino is doing his job as like the stabilizer to make sure he's not falling too far behind.
No, he certainly is. He's got an uphill battle into that matchup, but as long as he doesn't fall too far behind and allow that Camille to really do as they please, then the rest of the LoL team can certainly look to flourish. Mid lane certainly becomes the highway towards that. I suppose almost a consequence of how much aggression is found in these side lanes and how keen these junglers are to get amongst it all. But Lemus really is just, in the nicest way, not a leech, but he's just walking all over the show saying, I'll take XP here, I'll assist there, I'll push that one, and I'll get Kurek all this free solo experience himself.
Yeah, to be fair, for Lemus, he is forced to run around the map and assist his team. Like, Fido doesn't have access to the flash, so he's very susceptible to, falling down. Tomasino does have access to the cask here, so we see how much of the wave he's able to clear up before the dive comes through.
It starts off with the hook shot that guarantees it with the stun. The bomber comes out. There is the damage, and there is the ability to say that you had a nice attempt to try and stop us, but that is what a dive looks like. And it's perfectly executed because nobody falls on down.
Yeah, but the one problem with this skimmy is we have resources going on to 4 members, which are both being shared between 2 carries. Chirp, free plates mid, free farm mid. Hooper, free farm bot, free plates. Like, the entire team with you besides Tomasino is getting gold, and all Tomasino wants to do this game is just absorb. He doesn't want to, he's not the carry this game. He doesn't really matter if it falls behind. It's all about this mid bot.
It certainly is, and I think it's a fantastic point to bring up, and obviously demonstrated by the observers to showcase just how far ahead likes of Chirp and Hooper are able to get when you make a play with that numbers mismatch. Yeah, is shared gold. I guess it begs the question if you can hit that breakpoint, that first item, quick enough then for Tien on this Camille, because he's already 2 items or 2 components towards that Trinity Force, then you're sitting pretty, and you're thinking that, those top lane matchups, that 1v1 into the Gragas, no longer matters, because then the Camille is getting into the action, right, ganking with Schönfire too.
Yeah, definitely. As long as Tomasino is able to clear these waves, he's going to do his job. Fido still doesn't have access to the flash here, so we're seeing the group around the mid.
Second shockwave, second invitation to try and force that fight in a 1v1. Fido once again making that same play. He just shows face, and he simply falls on down. Fido with no flash, needed the protection, And even with the member standing there to protect, it wasn't to prove enough. Dawning Shadow from the mid lane into top. Tomasino, he's seen us all too often. He knows that this one is going to be yet another demise, but then just says, you know what? Hit that hook shot, I dare you. And he's out.
Yeah, Tomasino survives a very, very bad situation. That should have been certain death for him with the global ult coming out of Lemus. Didn't have access to the cast there though, and DN was trying to abuse that cooldown. Probably just doing a little cute base stop. Not really going to result in anything. They're both going to walk this one off. But to touch on the jungle matchup, this is when it starts swinging towards the Kha'Zix. You know, you got the first evolution, which is really important about like finding that extra damage you are when you go for the, you know, Q evolve, you really abuse that 1v1, but you know, he has gone for the ult evolve, which means he's gonna have access to more procs at the passive, an easier time navigating his team fights with that extra stealth he gets. You see, Fury do want to go for the fight here though. Tomasino does have the ult.
He certainly does. Flash being burnt nicely there by Lemus, taking 0 chances on this occasion. Those grubs still being looked at, 4 taken. And the rest being given across, it would seem then to Fury. GranZero feel like they've done enough, and fair enough in that regard as well. They've had to burn some flashes, and they've had to sacrifice a little bit of map pressure to try and allow them to be in this position.
Yeah, and this is also a really nice deploy from Fury. So like what they've done is they put their bot lane into mid, and they put their mage in bot lane, so they have access to the TP if a fight happens on the top side of the map, and he's also able to catch the farm if nothing happens. So very nice to see this lane deploy, which maximizes getting as much resources as possible, which is very important for these scaling teams.
We talk about scaling, and we talk about the current game state, and it is a very even one at that. Similar kills, very similar in terms of gold, only 600 separating the two. Maybe that is just product of the game that you hoped for, right? Where 2 junglers would be left to try and farm up an absolute storm. And they both do hit their first item at the same point. But it has allowed so much rotating, right? The ability just to stay in your lane and play the 2v2, play the 1v1 is just not been the case, right? We've had supports, everybody rotating freely. That these lanes, yeah, they're just no longer a fair 1v1. So we're not looking at any hard forced engages. You could just get punished. Out comes the dragon. There it is onto Lemus, and he is just dead and deleted. Hooper flashing to safety, pops the heal, but not enough to protect his jungler on this occasion. Double found by Phyto, finding a further 3rd kill with Schoenfire getting amongst it all. And yeah, not the picture that Hooper would have wanted to be involved in.
Yeah, and that's the power of the Hui. Like when you ignore him, when you really dive into the rest of his teammates, the amount of damage he's going to output and the AoE he's going to do is unmatched. You know, we don't even see the Oriole come out until the very end. They've lost so many resources to get to Lemus. And the damage that came out, the trade that came through from GranZero is just really, really well played by them.
Let's see if this materializes into anything as a result. 2k lead as a result of just that most recent play. But will it balloon any further? Because Fury, to their credit, have really been giving GranZero a tough run for their money. Out goes the cast, hits nothing, just breaks the ground on which Lemus walks towards. This time the hook shot too far away, and Tomasino cannot juke a drive this time. He's being locked inside the Camille ult, and granting him his 2nd of the game. Findo, just looking to make sure that Schoenfire doesn't get a free safe passage out of this one. Actually, maybe shuttered by Nox thereafter.
A flash.
As he wants to go towards the Gromp, that's not going to become possible because of jumping across the wall they go. Fido is here, but that's a shutdown found by Nox, and this is keeping it spicy, Tally. Very, very spicy.
Yeah, this is really good to see. Fury come back on the map, Shun overextended a bit, you know, going for the crab after the dragon, gets caught with no flash, easy pick for them. But once again, we're seeing like the constant trading, and this is honestly really favoring GranZero, because Lemus, a champion who should be really getting punished for not having summoners, moving around the map and finding so much gold from these skirmishes that he keeps like getting away with. You would think Nautilus is going to be a bit better than Senna moving around the map, but just the amount of gold he's able to pick up from all these assists he's gathering is really saving him from this early game.
Really seems to be that case, doesn't it? You can talk about saving. We saw just how close Findo was to falling on Dan as well, but 20 HP and a little bit of fruit. And happy days across the board. And now that we finally get a chance to break stuff down, let's run it back with this replay.
Yeah, so like we go back into the replay. Fury are the ones who aggress here. They decide to flash onto Lemus because he doesn't have access to the summoners, but honestly, a bit too much thrown into Lemus. He isn't really strong right now, isn't doing a lot, and they're ignoring the amount of damage that Fido is outputting here. A really nice call the Forge got from Kurak is just the AoE that is coming out of this team is insane at this point in the game.
It really is. He's being left to be the conductor of pain in the backlines there. And speaking of, Lemus out of a death from a replay, we find him in yet another death here. He's picked up the opportunity, and he may have felt that in that situation there was an opportunity to find a kill. He just didn't realize it was against him. But let's see if he can keep up pace here with Findo, because those two have definitely had their work cut out for him. And are really making sure that these lanes So flexible, right? I mean, the ability to traditionally lane feels so lost in this matchup because everyone's just everywhere at once.
Yeah, and to touch on what we just saw there, Skimmy, like you can take the Benby out of ground zero, but you can't take the ground zero out of Benby. You know, going for the solo wooding mission is the classic support getting caught, like just a bit ahead of the team. Just wait, you gotta wait for the rest of the team to get on the map so you're able to do stuff together as a team. Senna especially is very, very susceptible to getting caught, like so squishy, especially if you don't have access to the flash, and like champs like Zin's out, Oriana gonna do so much damage to you when you walk into them. But once again, like this game state's gonna slow down as the map's being broken open. Tien, very comfortable, and like there isn't really anyone on Fury who's going to be able to match him in the side lane, and he's just going to have so much priority and have to see how he's going to be able to pressure the map.
I feel like we have this conversation every single time a Camilla's in the game, right? We're like, who is going to answer this champion? And we go down the list, we're like, not them, not them, not them. Maybe if all three of those guys go towards that lane, they stand a chance. And you're thinking, but if that is the case, then you still got 4 members of Ground Zero that can do as they please. That's happened already so often in this split where they're able to, you know, play all 3 lanes at once, which you would traditionally say is pretty greedy, but they get away with.
Yeah, definitely. Camille's one of those champs who's so hard to lock down. So like playing onto 3 lanes is, you know, pretty easy for the Camille because you're so mobile, especially with the hook shot in the flash. Even the Hextech ultimatum is like a pseudo, you can knock everyone back and like play to escape. But we do see everyone grouping up here in the mid lane. Have to see, are they going to be able to take this turret?
Mummy comes out to play, clears the wave, and the Herald doesn't have any friends nearby to take that turret down with, so Ground Zero unable to find their third structure to continue that 100% first 3 turret statistic. Fury's still lagging behind, still trying to find a way to break open one of these turrets, I should say. They've definitely done some big damage towards both mid and bot. Basically identical in that regard, but Ground Zero have done some good defense to prevent them from falling on down so far, and with the kills all being tied up 17 minutes, which team do you think is in a favourable position? Because Ground Zero, yes, we have a 3k lead, but we still continue to talk about this whole scaling argument.
Yeah, definitely Ground Zero. They are favoured here. They do have the gold lead, but they also have the priority in the Camille, which is really important. I think you pair that with the Kha'Zix. We saw in the first series today, like we had the Rengar. Isn't really able to do anything in the side lane, but like Kha'Zix is a much better champion at assassinating people, especially with the Camille. Like you can pair that up, the damage is going to be unmatched, and the fact that you can lock down champions with the Hextech ultimatum means getting these picks in side lanes is so important. So Ground Zero just has more options whether they want to engage on mid with the Call of Forge God or play the side lanes. It's really up to them.
And would you say then, or is this almost too much of a reach at this point, that you really need to try and rally around Hooper? He's the majority of your gold right now, and the only person with a bounty, so I say that the bounty literally disappears, but you know, the champion to build around, 2 items done, is going to be an absolute Gatling gun with the Shojin just picked up.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they are able to get the pick onto Tien here with Findo's Hawk. He doesn't want to commit the flash.
Ooh, flash to flash, so no chance for the CC combo.
Yeah, and this is the pairing that you have to do for Fury. Like, you want to escort your mage in the side lane. You can't leave him to his, you know, own devices in the 1v1 because there is a Kha'Zix on the enemy team. There is a Camille. You need to group up. As we do see the ult go wide from Fido, Dragon is live, so that might mean, you know, Fury want to commit to this objective fight where, you know, Fido doesn't have access to his ult, which is such an important part about the Blade kit. They are looking on the top lane, though.
Pretty annoying, eh? It is very, very annoying, but they are looking to try and play towards different side lanes at any given moment. Double TP, or actually I say only 1 TP available. Tien has actually used it to get to bot, whereas the ability for Chirp to regroup with the team would be there if need be, but everybody's hovering, everybody's protecting, and Thomasin is just like, I'm getting no protection. I'm already 0-3. Why bully me even further? Like, literally play safe, and you just see 15 different projectiles coming at him at once.
Yeah, honestly a mistake coming out of Thomasino. Like, playing aggressive there, using the cast to be aggressive is just, like, not what you need to be doing in this game state, or this map state. You are the weak side. You need to, like, use your E defensively, use your ult defensively, make sure they have a hard time diving you, because you do have access to TP from Chirp. It does really come down to it, but the one saving grace of Fury here is like Chirp is getting a lot of farm in the side lane. Like he's getting enabled by Nox and Finder to be able to play these side lanes because he really needs to avoid being left isolated alone against like Kha'Zix and potential TPs from Camille.
It's a good shout actually, because both Chirp and Hoop have the most CS in the entire game, and you'd maybe say, oh, but surely in Ground Zero have offset that by getting more kills, but still we're in a very dead even game where 9 kills to 10. There's not a massive divide to really detract from that, so let's check in with the overall gold then and see where it all is placed. And no surprises, right? Tien at the top of the charts. This Camille has been an absolute menace. Deathless at this stage. The only one in this entire game that has been able to stay alive. Now with the Ravenous Hydra complete too, you start to say, well guys, we've hit the the break point where the Camille's got 2 items done, wrap it up, who can stop them?
Yeah, there's also seems to be the same story from Ground Zero every game, is that like there's a lot of volatility happening on like the mid-bot side of the map, but Tien's just left to his own devices, sometimes enabled by his team, but he's always having a solid performance regardless of what champ he's playing. And being on the Camille especially, like having these very like stable scaling performances is so important, because the impact you are going to have compared to your counterpart, which is most likely going to be something to stabilize you rather than contest you, is going to change like the dynamic of like every game Tien is in.
I am curious, speaking of dynamics, how does this affect the balance of this one for Fury, right? Because obviously Chirp wants to continue to farm at this accelerated rate, wants to make sure he has a massive lead over Fido, so the battle between the control mages is profitable for them that much more. But you always have to bring it back to who deals with the side lanes when Camilla's there, and we always rally this question of like, well, who is best suited for it? Well, Orianna doesn't want to do it, Zin needs a partner, and Thomason has been bullied for the first 20 minutes, so who answers it? And can Hooper just outplay at a team fight if Tien is split pushing to try and backdoor like your Nexus?
Yeah, one of the strengths right now that we see from Ground Zero is Kurak went for the Warmogs, and the item in itself activates with just the item in isolation, so let's see, actually, if we do go into a team fight here,
Kind of was the focus initially. Out comes the Dragon. Not enough damage to be found, but then he finds the Execute. So happy days for them. Shut down onto Fido. Hooper continues to jump across the wall. Kurek showcased just how tanky he is with that Warmox by finding one. They get a double for Hooper. He's still alive. He's still kiting from afar, flapping those wings and using his front line to soak up all the damage. And that's a pretty even trade, despite Ground Zero being up by 5.
Yeah, and just walking in without vision, you know, getting Fury finding a really nice engage, taking out Flash straight away is so important for these team fights. We see, you know, Hooper finally picked up the 225 stack, so he's online. He's very ahead of the clock when it comes to his items, so he is very happy. The way Fury really wants to play this game is they want to take as many 5v5s as possible, but, you know, Ground Zero, as I was trying to mention before the team fight started, is Kurak picked up the Warmog, so one thing they can do is like constantly pull the Baron and just regen their HP over and over again. You know, they want to force these outnumbered fights if they can. As we do go into the replay, like we see straight away, like Fido, he gets caught out by the, you know, the shockwave coming out of Chirp, blown up straight away. Hooper gets to execute mid-team fight as he's doing so much damage here. Churn just can't find access to these backline members because they're all grouped up. He just doesn't have the damage taken out himself. But once again, Tien is so strong. Limus is so strong. He's doing so much damage when he's enabled.
I suppose it begs the question, and you mentioned how Ground Zero would have this kind of like inclination to go towards it because they can have Kurek just soak it up, lose no HP, and run it back again and again and again. But isn't there a world in which Fury want to do the exact same? Utilize just how strong the Smolder is and entertain that 5v5?
You can, but in a sense you're flipping the game because you are like, Tien's going to be on your bot turret if you're doing that because Thomason has to group. Fury do want to play the 4v4 as much as possible, but I think if Tien is like left to his own devices, he can start taking his turret in a 1v1. So I have to see, like, does he recognize this? Like, is he going to start hitting the turret 1v1, or is he going to like keep using his priority to rotate and try and engage with outnumbers?
Seems at this stage it's a case of push, rotate, see what's up, go back to the lane, wait for the next wave to come on through, and repeat until you see anything different. As a response here from Fury, because much like you mentioned, Ground Zero say, we're just going to AFK at the Baron. We've got all the vision in the world, as demonstrated here by fantastic observers. So what do Fury know? Literally nothing. They're AFK in mid, waiting for the next wave to come on in, and like, well, we're either concerned about the Baron, we're concerned about the split push. Is Tien here to gank us to force a 5v4? Thomason, you need to group up. I mean, there's just so many conditions. It's in a very weird state, right? Especially for Hooper, like, what can I do? Because I have no flash.
Yeah, Thomas, you know, should never proactively group because he has access to the TP. He just wants to be responding to the Camille. If Camille groups, he TPs, it's very good. Fury does have a ward on the Baron. I'm not sure if it shows the Baron. It might be just out of range, so we don't see the health bar yet. As it is, they don't know this Baron is going down right now. They're just sitting in mid lane, and I think this Baron will go over to Ground Zero.
Will seem to be the case. Tien showing on the mid lane, where they know at least one person's removed from the table. But if he's there, then where is everybody else? Now the reveal is there with the Baron down to 4,000 HP. They say it's our time to shine. Call on the Forge God. Lap that with the Dawning Shadow and knock up 2 members. Get the Baron and went down to 1 HP. He gets the kill to Schönfire onto Nox. He smites the Baron. They get the team fight and then they look for the Smolder. Deny the Execute as he breathes hot fire on the backline. But he can't find anybody, and it is a flawless ace for Ground Zero.
Yeah, really well played by Ground Zero, abusing the vision gap that they had to start the Baron. And, you know, it's once again very hard to walk into the Baron when you don't have vision. There's so many angles where multiple members can be sitting and playing for like this chip damage onto you when you walk in. We see Nox is already dead by the time the Baron goes down. As we do go into the replay, Fido's just outputting so much damage, you know, throwing out like the mini rumble ulti, making sure there's so much DPS coming out. And if you want to get into this team fight, it's so hard to get in because there's just way too much damage coming from multiple angles. And Tien finally finds his flank, finds the solo access onto Hooper, gets the Hex and Ultimatum, and it's so easy to take him out from this point.
Beautifully well done at the start, right? Navigating that terrain with a two-man knockup from Kirak, and by that point, it's just a numbers mismatch. Limes is so far away, and yeah, once Tien rocks up, now especially with level 16, you're like, all right, guys, what do we seriously do? We're down 8k, soon to be even more, and you're starting to think we've had this whole pray that the Smolder can carry us. I think we're running out of tools to try and protect it. The Knight's Vow, we need more. Probably need a Guardian Angel and maybe the Zonias at this point.
Yeah, well, for Fury, they still have access to the 5-5s. This will get better as game goes on, as they are engaging into a choke, which will be very good for Fury.
And it will be. Let's see if they can find him success with it. Nox is still the focus right now. The ending spare on towards Fighter. He flashes out to safety, only finds himself dying on his lonesome.
Kirak.
Jumping across goes Kirak with back-to-back two-man knockups. The snipe of damage from the way from afar, not to get the kill, but Schönfire is there to save the day. And then Tien said, did you forget about me? There's my Cho'Gath ult on a basic ability.
Yeah, and this is just very easy for Ground Zero. They find, once again, like this is why they are one of the best teams. They find a little advantage from a game state that was very stable, and now the game is suddenly over.
Certainly is, Tally. It is certainly to be the case. Chirp flashing inside the fountain, protected by Boris the shopkeeper, and protecting him with the idea that back to the drawing board, because on this occasion you've fallen down in 26 minutes. And look, to be fair, Ground Zero given a chance to showcase, okay, exactly how strong are you? Are those stats inflated? Doesn't seem to be the case after game one.
Yeah, there's still like a lot I want to see coming out of Fury. I think they had a good idea about what to do in that game, but Ground Zero just really like tunnel in on their win condition, make sure Tien was ahead because they didn't have a side laner that could match that, and it's just very easy to win when you get ahead with that kind of win condition.
Another game for the Camille, another win is